Hello and welcome to another episode of Shop Happenings. So this is kind of a weird video. We're starting out with this thing. Our local ambulance company got a hold of me and asked for a trainer, and this is called a cricothyrotomy. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Cricothyrotomy trainer, um, and it's used for ambulance services and medical professionals to train people on how to cut into someone's throat so you can establish an airway. I don't know all the ins and outs about that. All I know is we were approached to do this. We did this on our 3D printer. Sorry, I didn't have any footage of that. But as you can see, it's two pieces. It's got a nice profile here. It got a flat base with a couple recesses. It does have a hole in the end. And as you can see, it's kind of shaped like someone's neck. So here's their chin. Here's the I guess the breathing tube, eating tube. Again, I don't know my parts and pieces of the body. It's not my thing, but this little piece goes on here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to include a link in the description or other YouTube video or something like that that you can look at to see how this thing works. But we made two of these for our ambulance department or our ambulance garage here, and the members will be able to learn how to train to how to establish airways in someone's throat. And again, I'll put this in the link. In the last video, we took a look at a depth gauge. Here's the depth gauge. It was just finished. I just graded this morning. As you can see, it's complete. Little set screw works. Depth rod moves when the depth rod is, or when that set screw set. This is rigid. This is a press fit. But in the last video, I promised I'd show you the prints, and I didn't do that. So I thought today would be the day. So here's the prints my students work off of. This is just our cover page. I'm going to flip to a first page, kind of give you a sense of what my students have to go through to learn how to read prints and how to put together a project. So simple things in this are like just simple lengths, depths, heights, locations of pieces or locations of features. This is quite interesting. As I look at this, I have an angle and I have to machine that angle. We have this little funky symbol here, which is an A. That's our primary datum. My students have to understand how to measure from our primary datum. B is our secondary datum, and as you can see, that's perpendicular within 2 thousandths of datum A. So we know that this corner right here is 90 degrees. This is datum C, and datum C, excuse me, datum C is saying that it's parallel to A within 3 thousandths. So we're going to put this on a surface plate. We're going to measure this compared to this and make sure this is parallel to this. And if this is parallel to that, and we know this has to be 90 degrees to that. So there's a lot of things that have to happen here. The other thing we have to look at is this angular dimension here. That angular dimension tells us that we have to be within 3 thousandths of A. So this surface, when we measure at 30 degrees, has to be within 3 thousandths of this for an angle. In addition to that, we have a hole location with a maximum material condition of 4 thousandths. So this hole location is very precise, and it's precise to all datums A, B, and C. And again, that's our primary, secondary, and tertiary datums. My students also have to be able to read pluses and minuses and tolerances. This whole print down here, and it's really hard to see on the video, I know, is stated that 3 decimal places, everything is within 5 thousandths unless otherwise stated. And that's where these other things come in, the otherwise stated. Here you can see we have a 375 thousandths diameter here, and that goes 3/8 of an inch deep. So 3/8 diameter, sorry, I misspoke, 3/8 diameter here, 3/8 deep with a plus or minus of 0. The reason for that is because a part gets press fit in that, and that has to be done on the money or our press fit doesn't work. If I flip the page, here's our little set screw. Set screw's a lot easier to read. It does have to be concentric. If it's not concentric, it really looks goofy when we unscrew the screw. My students have to learn what threading is. So there's an 832 thread in this. Just like in the base, there's an 832 thread here. So they have to learn a thread table and learn how to read that. And that makes it kind of interesting as students go, well, I just drill an 8 hole in there. Well, no, it's not quite true. So there's a lot of learning here. If I continue to flip, here's our handle. Our handle, again, has a primary datum here, and notice that has to be concentric as well because it looks goofy if it's not and it doesn't come out square. This is our press fit here. We set that to 381 thousandths plus or minus nothing. We found And that a 6,000ths of an inch diameter difference between our handle and the base works really, really well for a press fit. It gives us a little bit of leeway, so if we screw up when we make it, that we have a little bit of a wiggle room there to make that work. Again, we just have to understand how dimensions work. They have to make a knurl, and they have to identify these things. So these are the prints. In addition to that, I'm going to flip a couple pages here. I include something what I call a routing sheet. Depending on the company that you work for, routing sheets can be called travelers. They can be called process sheets. They have all kinds of different names. This is just the one we use. My students eventually will make their own sketch here. And what I want them to do is understand the process of how to go through things. So the first project we do, I give them this. And this just happens to be the part for the base. It tells us it's the depth gauge. It's part number 1. It gives us the finish size, always thickness, width, length. It gives us how many pieces we have to make. And then a procedure of how to go through this with some sizes, some target sizes to look for as you go through that. It also tells them what machine to do. And again, this is the first time they've touched this stuff. So it's really nice to have a procedure to go by, so they have something to look at so that we can have a conversation when we get out in the shop. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please stay tuned for more, and check out the cricothyrotomy trainer on the link in the video. It's worth watching, and I think it's going to be very, very beneficial for our ambulance department to utilize that device. Thanks for watching, and I hope you stick around for more.